And good morning, everybody. Good to see you all here. I think the system is a little wonky this morning, so I don't think it's sending out notifications, but I did get a countdown, which was just great in my system there. So as we wait for people to come in, we read in Psalm 91, He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers. And under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. Amen. Amen. Gary, good morning. How are you? Gary, it's going to be a quiet Thursday morning because something's really wonky with the system. But for those that are here, we shall move ahead and report and see where this goes. First, in some breaking news, I wanted to tell you about. This is really pathetic, but Pelosi has named Liz Cheney to serve on the select committee investigating the attack on the Capitol for January 6th. You know, the one that doesn't really exist and didn't really happen the way they said it did, and may have had more informants there than anybody else. And we can speculate as to what happened. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I think Liz Cheney, I think the people in Wyoming need to recall her, or whatever you need to do to get her out, to fire her, if that's possible in your state to do so. Because otherwise she's just going to be a sore pain in the butt, like Gracie just now said. So I think that's something that needs to be done. It's probably a little too late. In other news too, then we heard about this yesterday and about what was coming, and it was always accompanied with President Trump's face next to it. But the Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg surrenders to face tax charges. This was after a 2-year-long investigation. He's expected to appear in court in the afternoon along with representatives of the Trump Organization. It's not immediately clear what charges he or the Trump Organization will face, with an indictment expected to be unsealed. His lawyer insisted to the Post that Mr. Weisselberg intends to plead not guilty and he will fight these charges in court. His surrender, as I said, follows a 2-year investigation. The charges are expected to focus on whether he and other executives received perks and benefits such as rent-free apartments and leased cars without reporting them. And in other news, I am just happy to announce to you that those involved in the Clinton Foundation will also face charges. Well, I could announce that if it were true. It's not true. I just made that up. So we have the Trump Organization being attacked, but we certainly don't have anybody else like the Clinton Foundation coming under attack. Susan, we're on YouTube. It's not showing up. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know what that is, Chesney. I can see you now. I can see your comments now. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even have my Facebook group today or anything. So hopefully people can go back and see it that want to see it. I don't know. I'm probably being shadow banned and everything else. Nothing surprises me anymore. So again, the Clinton Foundation is not facing any charges, and that was just sort of a pipe dream of mine that didn't come true. All right. So what's happening this morning in Supreme Court? Oh, you're on Dlive. Oh, okay, that's right. Sorry, Chesney. I just now noticed that you're on Dlive, and so is Gary. So for everybody who's on YouTube, let me see I don't know if I'll be able to see you at all.
Just now noticed that you're on Dlive, and so is Gary.
Okay, so let me let me go over here to my phone and see if I can bring up the chat people on I had it just a second ago and then it went away. That's really bizarre. Huh. Okay. So fun times. I love this. I love this. I see that there were people there for a second that were on, and then it just kind of went away. So let me try again to bring up people. Okay, there we go. Robin Gately, Bonnie, good morning. Don't know why everything's not working. Hey, Rue, good to see you. So yeah, I can't see your comments except when I go to my phone. And hey, Sally, good morning. So I can kind of see you guys now that are chatting just a little bit. I'll look on my phone and see you there. And we'll try to go back and forth. I have no idea. I can only see Dlive and I can't see YouTube at all. So, whatever. And before I followed you on Dlive, it gave me a warning. Well, that's great. That's really great. So, hopefully Rumble will be up and running soon so that we can maybe go there and not be, I don't know, censored. Hey, Stephanie Crow, good to see you. Glad to see you here. And again, for all of you that are on YouTube, I'm now looking at my phone and I can see some of your comments on my phone on YouTube. For those who may be following me on Facebook, I can't see you at all to see if you're on. So if you're sending me stuff from Facebook, I'm not going to be able to see it, though I will try. Let me go over here and see if I can find anybody. Yeah, now I'm not seeing anybody on Facebook that I can see what you're saying. So I apologize. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. We can only hope, right? We can only hope. So anyway, let me, hey, Rue, can you hear me now? No, Rue, I cannot hear you, but I can kind of see you. Okay, I came to Dlive. There were three of us. Hey, Barbara. Yeah. I don't know what's happening. It's funny that Dlive's up and running, but I can't see anybody on YouTube except through my phone. So just why not? And I missed Wayne. Wayne went back into obscurity. Okay. So let's go back into the news here. In Arizona, the Supreme Court upheld the restrictive Arizona voting laws in the test of the Voting Rights Act. Upheld two election laws in the 2020 battleground state of Arizona that challengers said make it harder for minorities to vote. Well, apparently not. The Supreme Court doesn't agree with you. The case was an important test for what's left of one of the nation's most important civil rights law, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which the Supreme Court scaled back in 2013. The vote was 6-3, with the court's three liberals dissenting. Oh, there's a big shock. Election law experts said the court's ruling will make it harder for minority groups to challenge voting laws. Yeah, well, I guess, again, that's your opinion, but nobody seems to feel that way on the Supreme Court. Good morning, Sissy. Good to see you. Robin said, I can't even get my comments to come up on Dlive. That's why I don't chat there. Yeah, what can I say? It's obviously something is not quite right. But anyway. And in other news, in California, Supreme Court made a ruling in California that basically says that that throws out a state law requiring nonprofits to name rich donors. That was they wanted to be able to get a hold of that information, of course, so they could find out who was giving to the Republicans, although that's not what it said. Under the California law, the tax-exempt group were to attach to their filings with the state a copy of their IRS form reporting the names and addresses of all donors who gave more than $5,000 or 2% of the organization's total donations. Just crazy stuff. And again, people like Newsom, people like that wanted to use it and be able to find out where the money was going. So there you go. All right. Now, good information, if you can believe it, good news coming from the federal government. We're going to get the help that we've always wanted from the federal government. And in fact, the Broadway play Hamilton is going to receive $30 million in federal pandemic relief, possibly more coming. I mean, how great is that? What would we do without the Broadway show Hamilton? I mean, my goodness, it opened in 2015 and more than 2.6 million people have seen it on Broadway, and it grossed $650 million. Woohoo! Isn't that exciting? Don't forget the fact that we have people who have been maybe, injured by, this, and we've had people who need money because they're unemployed or they don't have they can't pay their rent. But thank God, thank God, Hamilton, the Broadway play, is going to be able to go forward. Hey, Brian C., good to see you. And that's all that really matters, right? That's really all that matters. Yeah, do we live in crazy times? We sure do. We sure do. All right. And also this morning, Joe Obama is leaving the White House with Dr. Jill. And where are they going? Well, they're going to go to Florida. They're going to meet with the governor and then sit down with the grieving families of the Florida condo crisis. You remember it's the same crisis that Harris had to remind him of, that, oh, wait, you need to talk about this. Some people died. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Thank you. Thank you, VP. Thank you so much. So hopefully, once they're there, somebody will tell him why he's there and what he's supposed to be saying, and that it's time for Joe Obama to look sad today. So they'll be able to remind him of that, Joe, you're supposed to look sad today because people actually died there in Florida. And we're watching here the explosion of that, not an explosion, but just falling and dust and everything else and dirt being blown around. But I know you'll feel better just knowing that Joe is there. Joe's there to save the day. Woohoo! I wish they would leave for good, Sissy said. Yeah, well, one day, hopefully sooner than 4 years, but, we'll have to see how all that goes, if you know what I mean. All right. So we were missing someone for a while, and it was kind of weird. Like, okay, where did he go? And by that, I mean, I'm talking about Dr. Fo Cha-ching. So let's look and see what Dr. Fo Cha-ching is up to these days and what he's going to say. All right, so he warns that the country may be divided into two Americas by the Indian, variant that continues to spread in underbadged areas. So while the CDC director says those who have been given badges are safe from that mutant strain and don't need to wear masks, but everybody else, you need to just mask up and do whatever we were doing before, that don't worry about the fact that you can't breathe. Don't worry about the fact that things are happening because you're depressed, locked down. That's not important. That's not important. So, let's see, probably moving to China. Yeah, maybe. Hey, Fo and Gitmo yet? Nope. No, he's not, Melanie. And don't expect to see him there as well. All right. So let's go on to see what he says. And again, he's been missing MIA for a few days, and now he's coming back with some great news, right? He told CNN he's very concerned that the U.S. is being divided into two Americas. Well, I wonder whose fault that is. It comes as many U.S. counties, particularly in the South and the West, are seeing an increase in the number of cases again over the past 7 days linked to a certain variant. counties in Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Wyoming have reported between 100 and 500 cases. So here we go again, with the cases, those numbers are going to matter again, because we don't have anything else. So we have to make it look bad. We have to figure out some way to make you afraid again. And I've seen people already, well, I don't care what the doctor says. I'm going to keep my badge on, or not my badge, but my veil on. I'm going to continue to wear my veil. And I assume that those people are going to be wearing those veils for the rest of their lives. Sissy said, all fake news. Robin says, lies, 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 and more lies. Yes, and more lies, and lies upon lies, and lies upon those lies. Did you see the Indian people hitting the badge givers with boards? No, Rue, I missed that. But if you've got video, I certainly would like to show that. That would be something to put up. Now, Dr. Fo Cha-Ching had a complaint filed against him. Don't expect anything to come out of this, because, see, in the times that we live in now, those who are doing bad behavior are rewarded. Those who are doing good behavior are punished. Okay, so here we go. This just happened. He just had filed against him a Hatch Act complaint. Charges that he charges him with illegal activism. Okay, so they're saying that filed by the government transparency nonprofit Protect the Public's Trust. I don't think there is any public trust anymore. On Wednesday, focuses on statements that Dr. Fo Cha-Ching made in the days preceding the November election. The virus issues were a paramount concern for voters entering the 2020 general election, the group wrote. 62% of voters saying the outbreak will be a very important factor in their decision about who to support in the fall. The election, meanwhile, was decided by fewer than 43,000 votes across 3 tipping point states. Yet on October 30th, Dr. Fo Cha-Ching gave an interview with the Washington Post, one of his good buddies, when it's not CNN, said comfortable in his media manufactured image as the preeminent authority on the virus, according to the Federalist here. He said intimated that the state of the nation's public health outlook could be directly linked to the two candidates' diverse approaches. So anyway, I don't think anything is going to happen. He also said in the article, a whole lot of hurt. Dr. Fo Cha-Ching warns that the virus surge offers blunt assessment of Trump's response. He told the paper, you could not possibly be positioned more poorly, emphasizing the U.S. needed an abrupt change when it came to a president. But don't worry, he'll be rewarded. Chessie said, okay, I'm going to put you on TV. All right, Chessie, sounds good. Did you see the hour of side effects from the V of the People's Senator? Yeah, I'm going to be talking about that, Robin, giving you the link for that. All right, Sally. Sally was saying, did you see California sending people dressed like giant syringe, a coronavirus, and masked up like a nurse? Yeah, Sally, I know that you sent me that video. I have not seen anybody dressed up like that coming to anybody's doors, nor have I heard about it. I don't know if those were just people doing that or if that was really something truthful. And it's hard to know if that was valid or not. If anybody is, like I said, came to my door dressed like that, they're going to have some choice words. But I just don't know if that's true or if that's just somebody who said it was true, So we have to be kind of careful with that. Now, this is what Robin Gailey was talking about. I'm going to give you this link. Unfortunately, I can't really talk about it here, as you know why, because, we're not supposed to talk about the truth. So I'll show you what it purports to be. That link I just gave you is Senator Ron Johnson of Milwaukee in his news conference. And later on in the conference, you will see a black woman, a white woman, and a white woman with her child that claim that they have been injured. Wow, that was bizarre. So, something just happened for no reason. Okay, so one of the things when I hear the mom talking, I get really angry because the mother and her husband, who's in the medical profession, decided to allow this little 12-year-old to volunteer to be a guinea pig in the badge trials. And it makes me angry that any parent would volunteer their healthy child to be a guinea pig. And I know some people aren't going to like me saying that, but I'm just being honest with you. That makes me mad. It really makes me angry. Okay. Doctor from Johns Hopkins Medical Center said on Fox the particular variant is not as serious as the first part of the virus. He said badges. He was for badges, but against using fear of lockdowns to make people get the badge. Yes, people must be celebrating Halloween early, Sissy said. Yeah, I mean, again, we have to have discernment on what's happening and why people are doing that. What right do they have? Barbara said. Yeah, I guess when you have a child, you can send them on to be guinea pigs, Barbara. That's what I gained from the information. The parents are to blame. I feel sorry for the children, not the adults, Robin said. When you hear this mother, she's all, and I'm sure she's regretful about what their decision she and her husband made to send their daughter in to be a guinea pig. And when you hear it, it will break your heart as to, what happened. Several doctors say it's a no big deal about the variant. Yes. But again, if you want to make people scared and have them do whatever you want them to do, remember the other day when I told everybody about that one video. It's a 6-hour video, but I have condensed it. I told you where the starting point was for this person named Brian Garish. You need to see that video or read that transcript to let you know what is going to be used against you, what is happening, what has happened, what kinds of techniques they are using against you. Let's see. Sissy said it's all child abuse, in my opinion. Well, it certainly isn't anything that people used to do when they wanted to show, when they wanted to have trials or anything else like that. Hey, Peep 4, I see you. How are you? I didn't see you come in until now, but good to see you. I like your little illustration, I think. I'm not sure what that is. I'm seeing a tiny little thumbnail print of whatever that is. So anyway, it looks unique. All right. Now, let's see. In other information, here's another link of a doctor who is no longer allowed to speak to you because big tech says he cannot. And I'm going to put this up, and then you're going to have to go look at it yourself later, unfortunately, until we move to Rumble, right? Someday. It's saying that the badge deaths and injuries are secretly buried. And he goes through all the reports and how many deaths and what the injuries are and the age groups. So that link I just gave you, you really need to go there. When you go there, it may say sign up. It's free. Sign up and you will receive his information on a daily basis. And it is information you are not going to get anywhere else. Hey, Irene, that was a horrible decision. Parents offering their child as an experimental guinea pig. Too late now for the young girl. Absolutely, Irene. I sent the video on Telegram, Rue said. I guess you sent that to Sissy. Yeah. Again, I don't know if that video is just people dressing up and acting stupid or if it's true. I haven't heard anything in California about that. but that doesn't mean that it did or did not happen, because, there's a lot of things that we're not seeing anymore in California. There's also another website that I want to point you to. Let me bring it up and get the link for you. All right. So you know how and I'll just kind of be cryptic about this. You know how we watch the people who sell pillows, the one person, really that sells pillows? Well, apparently, some of these interviews, if you go to a particular website, I'm not on, I am on Rumble, Robin, but I think it's just under Susan Knowles. I think that's all it is. Or I'll try to find it later and I'll send you something, a link for it. But right now I don't have anything on Rumble because I can't broadcast from Rumble at all. But anyway, if sometimes when you're watching people who sell pillows, they have, you're not able to watch it live. And there's a particular man with the initials Brannon, and then he has a H for last name initial. He takes those his interviews and he puts them on a certain website so that you can go back later and watch these particular videos. And so I'm going to give you the link and I'm going to show you the page. And this is really good if you want to go back and see them. So it is talks about, all down here are all of these shows that he's done, all these interviews that he's done with people. And I think it's worth your going there and looking at them and seeing what it is that, he has to say. Because you see all the interviews and everything that he's done, really important interviews with doctors, some pastors, on and on and on. So if you've missed anything, that would be the website to go to so that you could go and watch them again. And some of them are really worth watching. All right. And we are at the halfway point. If you would share at this point, that would be great, because there's a lot of information in here that I'm giving today that I think that people want to see. All right. Now, other information here. Let me put this up. One of the things I think that we are seeing is that big tech continues to crack down. Several doctors say it's a no big deal. The variant. A true, Barbara. How on Dlive? Barbara, you should be able to on Dlive see what I'm putting up. So you should be, there should be a stream on Dlive that you're seeing that as well. If you're not seeing that, then just instant message me or whatever, and I'll send you the links, but you should be able to see it. Oh, how to share. Just take, go up in the search bar and just click on that, copy it and paste it. That should work. And you have to kind of do it now because I don't think they, say anything on Dlive afterwards. All right. Now, here is another doctor. Big tech cracks down on Robert Malone, who is the guy who says that he invented the M, rhymes with DNA, badge pioneer, who warns about their risks. So he tweeted yesterday and said that now he's been taken down from LinkedIn. He said here's what it says on there. It says the historic record of what I have done, stated, figured out, and win, etc. over time is a key part of establishing my credibility and track record as a professional. This is what he tweeted, and that has been erased completely and arbitrarily without warning or explanation. He pays for that premium version on LinkedIn for the biotech and government consulting business he runs with his wife, Jill. That page remains live, but its last post, which highlighted his M rhymes with DNA badge patents is 3 weeks old. He was given no notice, no warnings, he said, or she said, his wife. He has a 10 to 15-year-old account, has never even had a warning, has 6,000 followers. So I think one of the things that may have happened is he was on the Glenn Beck show, and I'm sure that they don't like Glenn Beck any more than they like this doctor, but going on the Glenn Beck show probably was the last nail in the coffin for him. Okay, yeah, okay, so I'm not seeing any links popping up on YouTube. All right. So anybody who is not seeing anything on YouTube, which I guess the restream thing isn't working for YouTube, tell me which links you want. Just DM me on Twitter, instant message me on Facebook. I will get these to you because, again, you really want to see these. They're very important. And in that one particular doctor I told you about, you want to sign up so that you get his live newsletters every day with amazing information in them. But he's banned just about everywhere else. All right. So now I want to, in case you missed this, and I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this on YouTube, we'll see. But I wanted to show you and let you hear what the strategy is for the WHO going forward. Let me stop this 1 second. And this talks about the variant and all that. But this will give you an idea of the strategy that they have. So let me go ahead and play it. And hopefully you will be able to see everything.
That issue of variants is what we're watching all over the world. They are going to go on coming. We will go from Delta to Lambda and then on to the other Greek letters. That's inevitable. And some of these variants will be troublesome. They will be able to break through the vaccine-related protection in a few people, and that will cause problems. I'm basically saying variants are going to go on coming. That's part of life. We need to pick them up fast. We need to move quickly if we see them in a certain location. And we need to build the management of variants into what we call our COVID-ready strategy, which is going to be the pattern for the foreseeable future.
Isn't that nice? We have a COVID-ready strategy, so what? So COVID-ready. So we're going to, flu does that. Yeah, the flu has been eradicated, Barbara. So we're just we're getting the true colors here of where this is going, what they're expecting to do. Hey, Susan, I saw this yesterday and it's just unbelievable, Monique said. Sissy said, I guess Big Brother is spying and stopping links coming through. Something's happening today, Sissy. It's like the oddest thing I've ever seen. I don't see anybody from Facebook, so I'm guessing it's not even going out to Facebook. I love your hair. I got mine cut yesterday, Monique said. Well, thank you, Monique. Let me get some water. All right. Now let's get some more information. Here's some more information from Texas that you're not going to see or hear anywhere because they just don't want you to know that. In Texas now has the lowest virus hospitalizations in 14 months. Texas ended their restrictions 4 months ago. And look at all those people together. And I don't see really anybody wearing a veil. I guess they don't really need veils in Texas because, it's like sticking to common sense kind of helps you. And, now you've probably heard this too, that in California, in LA, they recommend that when you go inside, you should just continue wearing your veil. No, I don't think so. But there's been some studies done on the veil. And of course, right now they're being geared towards children. I mean, I don't think we should forget the adults. I agree that we need them done on children, but we also can't forget the adults that have to wear them hours on end each day. This is a study, experimental assessment of carbon dioxide content in inhaled air with or without the veils in healthy children. Now, I'm going to put this link up as well. For those of you who can see it and anybody wants it later, just let me know if you can't see it. But this is, as a result, figure shows that the value of the child with the lowest carbon dioxide level was threefold greater than the limit of 0.2% by volume. The youngest children had the highest values, with one 7-year-old child's carbon dioxide level measured at 25,000 ppm. So, it said most of the complaints reported by children can be understood as a consequence of elevated carbon dioxide levels in inhaled air. Well, I guess they're just going to have to get used to it, right? This is because of the base volume of the veils, which collects exhaled carbon dioxide quickly after a short time. The carbon dioxide mixes with fresh air and elevates the carbon dioxide content of inhaled air under the veil, and this was more pronounced in the study for younger children. This leads in turn to impairments attributable to hypercapnia. A recent review concluded that there was ample evidence for adverse effects of wearing such veils. We suggest that decision makers, how about parents, weigh the hard evidence produced by these experimental measurements accordingly, which suggests that children should not be forced to wear veils. Why not? Why not? Why don't we just veil them up and jab them up, right? Isn't that what we are told that we should do? I mean, this is insanity. And again, if the children are getting that in the veil, the adults are getting it too. And their carbon dioxide level may be lessened a tiny bit because maybe they pull theirs off their face, whereas a child will just keep it on, and when they've been taught to do, and they'll breathe in carbon dioxide all day. And we all know that carbon dioxide really helps your brain cells. Come on. So some people are saying that they can see the links on YouTube. Can anybody else see the links on YouTube, or is it just one or two people? All right. Now, some more information about the health of children. And again, I don't think we should ignore the health of adults, because we need adults just like we need children, right? And if one goes down, they can't take care of children. That's not good at all. All right. So the Telegram is reporting that research shows that 53% of girls and 44% of boys aged 13 to 18 were found to be suffering from trauma or PTSD in the months after the first lockdown. 60% of boys and 50% of girls of the same age were classified as suffering from anxiety. And this was a study that appears to have been done in the UK by the Royal College of Psychiatrists, warn that the virus has created a mental health crisis among children. Oh, really? We don't hear anybody else talking about that now, do we? We have done such a disservice to children. It's unbelievable. Let's put aside what has been done to adults and depression, suicide. The same can be said of children. Breathing in carbon dioxide. Children's suicide levels are up. Depression levels are up. Anxiety levels are up. And you got to take that into context. We said that would happen. Yeah, Barbara. And you got to ask yourself, does the benefit of wearing a veil outweigh all of that? Of people that have almost a 0% chance of getting the virus in the first place. And even if people are treated properly with the right medications, according to many doctors, they won't need anything. That it will be, I don't know, it seems, they didn't say this, but from what the information that they're talking about, it seems like this is almost easier to get rid of than the flu. if you have the right medication and you're given the right medication within the right amount of time, right? Certain amount of time. Let's see. I don't think the virus is causing anxiety. It's the veil and lockdown and fear. Well, yeah. What they're saying is indirectly, Robin, indirectly. No links on YouTube. They are showing up on the screen from Dlive, Robin said. Some else try to post links from Dlive. They want more money from scared taxpaying citizens, Irene said. It takes too much time to copy and share on here. I would have to leave the show. Yeah, don't worry about it. If like I said, if you want these, I'll be glad to give them to you because they are very, very important. I don't know why they're not showing up. I don't know what's happening to the system, but you know, it is what it is. Okay. Now I want to show you something that I think is very important. This is a little blast from the past. I want you to see it all because I think that it's going to become very important in the, could be in near future. So let me start this again. It's a little bit more than 2 minutes long. And here we go. Let me bring it up. And again, you should be able to see all of it.
Today in New Orleans, they got a lot tougher on the holdouts.
Police department, anyone home?
Not only the flooded areas, but New Orleans' driest and wealthiest neighborhoods, too.
Police department!
The police and National Guard going street by street, house to house.
We need to make sure, too, that whenever we knock on doors, people refuse to leave. We need to make note, call it in.
They say there are no orders to use force, just strong persuasion, sometimes entering open houses with guns drawn, and instructions to disarm anyone inside.
You say guns will be taken? No one will be able to be armed. We will take all weapons.
That happened today in this wealthy neighborhood where homeowners had armed themselves to protect their mansions. Residents were handcuffed on the ground. In the end, police took their weapons but let them stay in their homes.
They were a little bit threatened because our weapons were bigger than their weapons.
For many of the police and guard troops, it is an uncomfortable job to do this in an American city. This guard unit occupied a church, using it as a base camp. They had to leave a note because they could not get hold of the pastor to get permission.
It is surreal. Yeah, you never expect to do this in your own country.
Chris Montgomery says he'd rather be in Iraq than patrolling American neighborhoods.
Walking up and down these streets, you don't want to think about the stuff that you're gonna have to do if somebody pops around the corner.
Be shooting in America.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want you in here.
We're not going to do that.
I don't want you in here, period.
But there's a mandatory evacuation.
I know all about it.
Well, Patricia Coney's protests were to no avail. They moved her out of there, and she is now out of the city.
No one will be able to be armed. We will take all weapons.
It was a human drama with emotions and tensions running high. Patty Connie is still trying to recover physically and emotionally.
They really did a number on me.
From the day police forced her from her home.
It was traumatic. All of a sudden, they were banging on the front door.
So I show you this as a reminder, and especially when people say, that's not going to happen to me, or they're never going to take that away from me. That was back during Katrina. It happened. They went around door to door. They disarmed, whatever you want to say about it. They took the weapons, and it was easy as 1, 2, 3. And you see what the elderly said they were basically manhandled there. Unbelievable, Stephanie Crow said. Puzzle says, is this real? Yep, Puzzles, it's real, all right. Why are they doing this? That was back during Katrina. Says it's a blast from the past. It's happened during Hurricane Katrina, Robin said. Unbelievable again. Looks like the Nazis have been fierce here before, here forever, and it's only getting worse. So again, I'm showing you this so that when people say, well, that's not going to happen to me, if they come to my door, they're not going to happen. It was very easy. People didn't give a lot of resistance because, when you've got weapons pointed at you, it's a different story. Okay, we're going to pick up on, I think we left off at Genesis 30. I had to restart something, so I lost where exactly that we were, but we'll start on Genesis chapter 30. Now, when Rebekah saw that she bore Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said to Jacob, give me children or else I die. And anger was aroused against Rachel. And he said, am I in the place of God who has withheld from you the fruit of the womb? So she said, here is my maid Bilhah, go into her and she will bear a child on my knees that I also may have children by her. Then she gave him her maid as wife, and Jacob went into her, and Bilhah conceived and bore Jacob a son. Then Rachel said, God has judged my case, and he has also heard my voice and given me a son. Therefore she called his name Dan. And Rachel's maid Bilhah conceived again and bore Jacob a second son. Then Rachel said, with great wrestlings I have wrestled with my sister, and indeed I have prevailed. So she called his name Naphtali. Or is it Naphtali? When Leah saw that she had stopped bearing, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her to Jacob as a wife. And Leah's maid Zilpah bore Jacob a son. Boy, Jacob had a lot of sons. Then Leah said, a troop comes. So she called his name Gad. And Leah's maid Zilpah bore Jacob a second son. Then Leah said, I am happy, for the daughters will call me blessed. So she called his name Asher. Now Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field and brought them to his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, please give me some of your son's mandrakes. But she said to her, is it a small matter that you have taken away my husband? Would you take away son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, therefore he will lie with you tonight for your son's mandrakes. When Jacob came out of the field in the evening, Leah went out to meet him and said, you must come into me, for I have surely hired you with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. And God listened to Leah, and she conceived and bore Jacob a fifth son. Leah said, God has given me my wages because I have given my maid to my husband. So she called his name Issachar. When Leah conceived again and bore Jacob a sixth son. And Leah said, God has endowed me with a good endowment. Now my husband will dwell with me because I have borne him 6 sons. So she called his name Zebulun. Afterwards, she bore a daughter and called her name Dinah, or Dinah, whichever. Then God remembered Rachel, and God listened to her and opened her womb, and she conceived and bore a son and said, God has taken away my reproach. So she called his name Joseph and said, the Lord shall add to me another son. There are rumors that we can see lockdowns coming this fall. I have to say, if we have lockdowns that come this fall, it will destroy our economy. Well, yes, Brian, that is the goal. Some would say that's the agenda. All right, Jacob's agreement with Laban. And it came to pass when Rachel had borne Joseph that Jacob said to Laban, send me away that I may go to my own place and to my country. Give me my wives and my children for whom I have served you, and let them go, for you know my service which I have done for you. And Laban said to him, please stay, if I have found favor in your eyes, for I have learned by experience that the Lord has blessed me for your sake. Then he said, name me your wages and I will give it. So Jacob said to him, you know how I have served you and how your livestock has been with me. For what you had before I came was little, and it was increased to a great amount. The Lord has blessed you since my coming, and now when shall I also provide for my own house? So he said, what shall I give you? And Jacob said, you shall not give me anything. If you will do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep your flocks. Let me pass through all your flock today, removing from there all the speckled and spotted sheep and all the brown ones among the lambs and the spotted and speckled among the goats. And these shall be my wages. So my righteousness will answer for me in time to come when the subject of my wages comes before you. Everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats and brown among the lambs will be considered stolen if it is with me. And Laban said, oh, that it were according to your word. So he removed that day the male goats that were speckled and spotted, all the female goats that were speckled and spotted, every one that had some white in it, and all the brown ones among the lambs, and gave them into the hand of his sons. Then he put 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. Now Jacob took for himself rods of green poplar and of the almond and chestnut trees, peeled white strips in them, and exposed the white which was in the rods. And the rods which he had peeled he set before the flocks in the gutters, in the watering troughs, where the flocks came to drink, so that they should conceive when they came to drink. So the flocks conceived before the rod, and the flocks brought forth streaked, speckled, and spotted. Then Jacob separated the lambs and made the flocks face toward the streaked and all the brown in the flock of Laban. But he put his own flocks by themselves and did not put them with Laban's flock. And it came to pass, whenever the stronger livestock conceived, that Jacob placed the rods before the eyes of the livestock in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the flocks were feeble, he did not put them in. So the feebler were Laban's and the stronger Jacob's. Thus the man became exceedingly prosperous and had large flocks, female and male servants, and camels and donkeys. Okay, chapter 31. Now Jacob heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob has taken away all that was our father's, and from what was our father's he has acquired all this wealth. And Jacob saw the countenance of Laban, and indeed it was not favorable toward him as before. Then the Lord said to Jacob, return to the land of your fathers and to your family, and I will be with you. So Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field to his flocks, and said to them, I see your father's countenance, that is not favorable toward me as before, but the God of my father has been with me. And you know that with all my might I have served your father. Yet your father has deceived me and changed my wages 10 times, but God did not allow him to hurt me. If he said thus, the speckled shall be on your wages, and all of the flocks bore speckled. And if he said thus, the streaked should be your wages, and all of the flocks bore streaked. So God has taken away the livestock of your father and given them to me. And it happened at the time when the flocks conceived that I lifted my eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the flocks were streaked, speckled, and gray spotted. Then the angel of God spoke to me in a dream, saying, Jacob, and I said, Here I am. And he said, Lift your eyes now and see all the rams which leap on the flocks are streaked, speckled, and gray spotted, for I have seen all that Laban is doing to you. I am the God of Bethel, where you appointed the pillar and where you made a vow to me. Now arise, get out of this land, and return to the land of your family. Then Rachel and Leah answered and said to him, Is there still any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not considered strangers by him? For he has sold us and also completely consumed our money. For all these riches which God has taken from our father are really ours and our children's. Now then, whatever God has said to you, do it. Then Jacob arose and set his sons and his wives on camels, and he carried away all of his livestock and all of his possessions which he had gained, his acquired livestock which he had gained in Padan Aram, to go to his father Isaac in the land of Canaan. Now Laban had gone to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the household idols that were her father's. And Jacob stole away unknown to Laban the Syrian, and that he did not tell him that he intended to flee. So he fled with all that he had. He arose and crossed the river and headed toward the mountains of Gilead. Laban pursues Jacob. And Laban was told on the third day that Jacob had fled. Then he took his brethren with him and pursued him for 7 days' journey, and he overtook him in the mountains of Gilead. Now God had said to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said to him, Be careful that you speak to Jacob neither good nor bad. So Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mountains, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mountains of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What have you done that you have stolen away unknown to me, and carried away my daughters like captives taken with the sword? Why did you flee away secretly and steal away from me and not tell me? For I might have sent you away with joy and songs and timbrel and harp. And you did not allow me to kiss my sons and my daughters. Now you have done foolishly in doing so. It is in my power to do you harm, but the God of your father spoke to me last night, saying, Be careful that you speak to Jacob neither good nor bad. And now you have surely gone because you greatly long for your father's house. But why did you steal my gods? Then Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Perhaps you would take your daughters from me by force. With whomever you find your gods, do not let them live. In the presence of your brethren, identify what I have of yours, and take it with you. For Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, into Leah's tent, and into the two maids' tents, but he did not find them. Then he went out of Leah's tent and entered Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the household idols, put them in the camel's saddle, and sat on them. And Laban searched all about the tent, but did not find them. And he said to her father, Let it not displease my lord. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord, that I cannot rise before you, for the manner of women is with me, meaning she's on her period. And he searched, but he did not find the household idols. Then Jacob was angry and rebuked Laban, and Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? What is my sin that you have hotly pursued me? Although you have searched all my things, what part of your household things have you found? He said it here before my brethren and your brethren, that they may judge between us. These 20 years I have been with you. Your ewes and your female sheep have not miscarried their young. I have not eaten the rams of your flock. That which was torn by beasts, and I did not bring to you. I bore the loss of it. You required it from my hand, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. There I was in the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from my eyes. Thus I have been in your house 20 years. I have served you 14 years for your 2 daughters and 6 years for your flock, and you have changed my wages 10 times. Unless the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me, surely now you have sent me away empty-handed. God has seen my affliction and the labor of my hands and rebuked you last night. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop there. Hopefully I will find my place tomorrow. Maybe you can remind me if I can't find it. Let's see. Tennessee Governor Lee has us under a limited emergency. For what? For what, Sally? You mean just that's what he's kept as in his powers? Yeah, most you'll see that the Democrats have not given up their emergency powers. So governor of California, governor in New Mexico continues to have things closed down from what I'm hearing coming out of New Mexico. All right. So if you would please go ahead and share this. And, I'll give you a minute to talk to each other on the way out. We will be back here again tomorrow. Hopefully some of the censorship that's taking place today won't be here tomorrow, but don't count on it. All right, everybody. God bless you. You have a minute to say your goodbyes to everybody for today. God willing, we'll see you back here again tomorrow. Take care.